Friday Eve and the weekend is near. Never fear, those of you who enjoy sunny and hot weather, it will return. But for the coming hours, hopefully a lot of them, those of us with plants in the ground and brown grass and needing hydration, today will be our day. Good morning, I'm Rayford Brown, your increasingly obnoxious co-host of Live and Local Real Talk, preparing for some rather spirited conversations later this morning. How
Wow.
are you going to do that?
Yeah. How am I going to beat it? I'm not. But let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. I'm Chris Marks.
And good morning. Happy Friday Eve. I'm Lee Barrows.
And it is raining here now, finally. Up until just a very short time ago, it was just, I described it as a what was it, a dripple? That was about it. It wasn't even drizzling an hour ago. We've picked up some since then.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
No
yeah.
matter what, back we're up to 0.03 inches of rain. There was zero an hour ago. About 45 minutes ago, it was zero, nothing in the rain gauge. So anyway, she's coming down, and I hope she'll continue coming down. We got some weather from around the county we'll share with you shortly. And,
Richard just commented on our Facebook, morning all, great day if you're a duck.
well, a great day if you like. You don't water your garden with city water. You know, I mean, expensive water, regardless of what it is. You know, here's the thing about the water that we put in our gardens. We
Yeah.
also have to pay for the sewage that it requires to dispose of that water. What?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
I've had some
I
spirited
like
conversations
rainwater.
about
Yeah,
that.
there we go. So what do we have to whine about today?
Well, we would like to congratulate real quick. Because I know later on this morning about 8 o'clock, it'll be time. But the Jacksonville Cardinals swept north side this year in lacrosse, won last night. And so with their last two wins, and they're the number one defense.
They're going to the playoffs now.
They're going to playoffs. It looks like they're going to get a first. They will know tomorrow. First round bye, and then a second round home game. But yeah, number one defense in the league.
Wow.
Boys are tough. I'm telling you,
It certainly sounds like it.
they are. It's interesting watching between the girls lacrosse, the boys lacrosse. The girls have no protection when they're playing. And then the boys come out there and they look like hockey players. I'm not looking at you like that. See,
Just warning him.
She's giving me the finger.
The look, I knew it was getting ready.
I didn't say a word.
You were getting
What
ready.
did I say?
was like, no.
What did I say? What? No,
You
can't-
didn't. I gave
wasn't
you
even
the
thinking
stank
of
eye.
anything.
Don't do it.
the only difference, Rayford, so when we get ready for football season, is it is fast paced.
No.
One thing I did notice is that after you score, both teams are at the 50-yard line, and it's almost like then it becomes hockey, where the ball is dropped.
But they got sticks.
They got
Weapons of
sticks.
mass destruction.
The video I
I'm
was
just letting
watching,
you know.
Yeah.
the video that I was watching, I was like, man, they were like shoulder button each other.
You think they would
and-
let me on the field? In the stands carrying one of those weapons?
The players do.
I know that. So if it's good enough for the players, you think I could get into the stands with it?
It looks like ice hockey on grass. That's what it looks
It,
like.
it does.
I mean, I'm talking about come football season. If I carry one of the field in football season into the stands, do you think I could get away with it?
No.
Well, you got away with the yellow flags. Oops.
I gave it back.
That's the other thing is the officials will do this. Now, they don't throw it. They just pull it out, hold it up, put it back in. And then
I'm not there. They don't have to worry. I'm not going to run on the field and steal it. It's okay, guys. You can do it. Tie a string to it.
I tell you,
Tail it
it's
around
an
behind you.
interesting game. you know.
it is an interesting game, but it was fun to watch. It really
So
was.
we haven't whined about anything yet. What, you don't have anything to whine about.
I do have something to whine about.
How about politics? No doubt. And for our
Yeah.
chief political correspondent, the lady with all the inside track gossip, the one who knows how the politicos actually think, because a lot of us don't think that a lot of them have the gray matter necessary to deal with common sense. And heaven help us if they have a death-defying or life-enhancing issue to deal with.
Well,
How the pilot.
I think I told you yesterday that HB 1038, which is the
We're
bill.
going to talk about that.
Yeah, but I just want to let you know it's been pulled back.
I know that. So you know how that pilot that we watch on YouTube refers to himself?
Captain Steve.
No. Captain Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
Captain Steve.
He's got a lot of E's in
So our
Steve.
very own General Lee has all the inside stuff that we need to know, but they don't want us to be aware of. Lee,
Loaded.
what you got?
As I was saying, HB 1038, which is the bill that was introduced by Phil Shepard and White Gable into the House, and that was to change the ward system in the city to an at-large system, where anyone running for a position, city council or mayor, would run at large instead of by wards.
What stalled it?
Well, it came out of the election committee, the election law committee, but then Representative Sarah Stevens,
From where?
she's from out west.
What's that got to do with us?
Because when you're elected, you serve everybody. But she is the chairman of that committee.
Yes, and?
And she said, nope, this bill needs to be rewritten. I don't know her specific reasons for it. But if you read the bill, it's like a paragraph. And I think she says something to the effect that it needs to be further dialogued, et cetera,
It's a good thing she was not around during the writing of the Constitution when the Second Amendment came up, right? Because it's very short, very simple, no questions asked. Why not keep it short and simple? Stupid.
Have you ever been to a political convention where resolutions were introduced to the body of the people there, and where like some county wrote a resolution like, let me just make up something. Marijuana should be legalized in the state of North Carolina. Okay, so the resolution is read, then the body of people, which is anywhere from 300 to 600 people, all sit there and start talking about it. Well, I think on line 10, you need to change the word where to was, and I think we need to say this instead of that, and it can drag on for hours and hours and hours and hours.
There should be a law called
crazy.
interfering with the process, and that there should be criminal charges for it.
Oh my gosh.
Done.
Rayford,
What?
it's not how it works.
Yes, it is how it's supposed to work.
No, it's not.
Keep it simple, stupid. We would never have gotten through the Second Amendment if they'd allowed that kind of stupidity.
Well, back in the day when they did write the Constitution, we had mostly sane people, so it wasn't cutthroat like it is now.
There you go.
I mean, but crazy. But anyway, 1038 is being taken back into the committee, whatever, and they're going
the name of that bill, 1073.
Yeah, that's crazy if you know what I mean. But yeah, and the Senate Bill 889, which is the bill that Onslow is also. They added a fiscal note to the bill, which names 12 counties, and Onslow is one of them. But it passed the Senate, and that's to put a moratorium on the new property evaluations for this year. But it still has to go to the House.
Yeah. And Pender County, because Pender County,
Yes.
if you remember, did it. It
Right.
said we're not going to do it until 2027, and now they're one of the counties that counted on. Rayford, can I go back to what Lee was talking about?
Sure.
House Bill 1038.
Yes, go
I
with
just got a simple question. I watched everything.
It'd take 3 weeks to answer it.
It's a simple question. Simple question.
For them, I could answer it a lot faster.
Okay. So after listening to everything at the city council meeting, it's a simple question. Do you not think you can win
That's the reason.
in
Oh.
what?
No, go with it. I mean, go ahead.
In a non-ward system? Can you not win? Simple as that. If everything that you stand for, everything that you believe that you can do for all the citizens of Onslow County or the city of Jacksonville in this case, can you not just go out, campaign, and win?
No. You got to have a shtick.
A shtick?
A shtick.
Well, what's interesting is looking at the map yesterday, the ward maps and stuff.
Mhm.
Here's my problem. I'm sure some of our listeners are going, you got lots of problems. But when you count Camp Lejeune, or Lejeune, however you want to do it.
Now,
now
you're going to do with math, which is a finite thing. It's
Camp
guaranteed. It's
Geiger.
the way it
Well,
works.
but yeah, Camp Geiger. Camp Geiger is a school facility.
Yes, it is.
The air station has some housing in it.
Yep.
The base main site has some housing in it, but it also in those locations are platoon barracks, buildings used for schooling.
Where they count them as population.
It's wacko.
My question
Wacko.
is, because I got thinking about that when the census was taken, did they take just the people living on the base, or did they count all the population on
Do
the
you
base?
think the census was actually taken aboard Camp Lejeune? Who is going to allow? Do you think a CG aboard
Right.
Camp Lejeune is going to allow a bunch of census takers to come aboard Camp Lejeune?
Well, I know there's
No, trust us.
Right.
Here's what's living here.
well,
Well,
I'm the general. I
it would have
speak.
been the same person that went around and did the evals on Onslow
Same
County
guy.
homeowners.
Same guy. He does the census too.
I'm just saying, if you can go out, if you have such strong conviction, you're such a strong candidate, why can't you just go out and win a seat?
Because they don't have the talent to win that way. They've got to have a shtick.
well,
If you have nothing to offer the people, the masses meaning the majority, if you've got nothing to offer to convince the masses, the majority of people to vote for you, then you've got to have some kind of a shtick to win.
the whole problem is no matter what, the base is included. It is part of the city limits. So we have to include the people, whether they're registered in North Carolina to vote or not. We have to include them in when you draw the lines.
But
That's the issue. If it was not that way, we probably wouldn't be having
The
these
city
issues.
limits is the side, that is the city limits border.
Mhm.
That is the district one. There's one ward.
There's two.
As far as I'm concerned, there's one
Two. Yeah.
ward or in the city limits of Jacksonville. The one.
okay,
Oh, I see
They're
what
in
you're
the
saying.
city limits. The
Yeah.
city limits of Jacksonville. They're elected to represent everybody, but they're elected from individual districts.
okay.
Four
So
of them.
someone's going to say that doesn't make logic, but it does if you think about it. If you try to go, can you be be stopped from going into Bryn Mawr?
Only by a blue light if you've done something wrong.
Blue light.
You're
yeah.
doing more than 25.
Right. Can you be stopped going into Northwoods?
No,
But you can be stopped from going on
you
camp.
will be. You
Right
won't
now.
be. You can't be. You will be stopped.
You will be stopped.
You will be
unless everybody in that
I-
vehicle
I
has
wanna-
an ID card.
I want to go. We used to drive through Camp Lejeune when we're going to Sneed's Ferry during the wintertime,
Yep.
especially coming back from dinner
172.
at the Riverview restaurant. And you know why we came through Camp Lejeune? Not because it was shorter, but because we could see the deer and we
Mhm.
would watch the deer population. We could see them out beside the road and we would
Yeah.
count them. You know how people count cows when you're on a long trip as a kid on by the road or, in farms or different cars. You had
FedEx trucks.
little cars, FedEx trucks. But there were games that kids would
Yeah,
play
oh,
as
yeah.
they're driving. We used to count the deer.
Huh?
I had this many deer on my side of the road. What did my sister have on that side of the road? That was a game.
It's
Seriously.
those two
I saw-
things bother me.
I saw cows going to Sampson County a couple of weeks ago.
I see cows when I do my 5K
Baby
every
cows,
day.
too.
I've been to the beach and seen them. There are political parties in Seattle, and I believe that if black people come together, we can be the most powerful political party in the city of Seattle. We have to coalesce our power. That's what the president of the Seattle City Council said this week. They got a president of the council, then they got a mayor. She said,
Huh?
there are political parties in Seattle, and I believe that if black people come together, we can be the most powerful political party in the city of Seattle. We have to coalesce our power. An African American member of the council, Joy Hollingsworth, has demanded that the city's $8.9 billion budget, the treasury, the money coming from that budget, be turned over to what is termed the black budget that has been prepared. There are every year, two different budgets prepared in the city of Seattle. Two different budgets. One's the black budget, one's the other budget. Really?
What? Are we ever going to get past
the black
this
budget
race
is
thing?
prepared by African American members of the council and focuses almost exclusively on black-oriented projects in predominantly black areas. Hollingsworth has been attempting to set up a black political party to be able to run against the white majority on council. Let me understand this. I don't get it, but unfortunately, I'm seeing some parallels here. First, the current population of Seattle is 67% white and slightly over 6% African American. There is a large Asian population in the city as well. Mrs. Hollingsworth, for one reason or another, is concerned only about 6% of Seattle's population, almost like a ward system, except this Seattle is obviously only about race, as she wants to establish a black political party where voters could register for that party and candidates could run as members of that party. Does that mean that they would exclude non-black people from being members? Has anyone explained civil rights to this lady? This and racism works both ways. You don't have to be white to be a racist. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
For a number of years, I've asked so many people, I've asked HR directors, friends of mine who were in the city of Wilmington, for instance, one, I keep asking, why is there a Miss Black America pageant? Were non-blacks excluded from competing in that? What if there was a Miss White America pageant? How would that go over? Racism works both ways. Not sure what's happening in Seattle. In the 1960s, the city was 90% black, 90% white, while there has not been an explosion in the black population with the number of Asians and other non-white and non-black people moving in, the percentage of whites has decreased. Why are they perpetuating a split, a difference between the races? Is she calling for a civil war without guns, just a civil war at the polls? Just what it sounds like. We're going to be us against them, blacks versus white. We want the money for the black projects, and y'all are on your own. They prepare a black budget, and a black and the other budget is submitted to council for approval.
Wow.
You know,
wow.
At some point, and it didn't happen at the city council meeting this past week. People have got to understand a couple of things. You cut your arm, what color are you going to bleed?
I'm going to bleed red.
Lee?
Yeah, red, definitely. I was going to turn black and blue, and I'm a black eyes. And
all of my African American friends, all of my German friends, all of my Hawaiian friends, all
I
my
have an Asian friend.
Asian friends, they all bleed the same color.
You know that I have seen the insides of all of those people.
Uh-huh.
Those groups
I'm
of people
sure you
you're
have.
talking about. I've seen the insides of them split wide open. You know what? They all look the same. Every one of them looks the same.
Sometimes I think we go backwards instead of forward.
We do.
We get past a lot of this racial discrimination, and there's always going to be some form of discrimination.
Yes.
There's always going to be, but I thought we had really progressed as a nation, grown up through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I really thought we had come a long way.
I
But
discriminate against stupidity and too much of it out there. And it doesn't have anything to do with race.
my friends are my friends regardless of their skin color.
Absolutely.
I don't look at them as like, oh, you've got darker skin than me. No, I look at them as you're my friend.
Yeah.
We're friends. That's the way I look at it. And I just, people that want to keep throwing race into everything makes me so mad. Makes me so mad.
You know, I often like to go to some of the things that I learned from our priests. One of them was this. Again, and I'll repeat it forever and ever and ever. Don't worry. Remember the past so you don't relive it. Don't worry about the future because the Lord has it covered for you. Live for today. But the biggest thing of that is the past.
Right.
You learn from the past so you don't repeat it.
That's right.
But we still have people today that are trying to
Absolutely.
bring it back.
Perpetuate.
And I'm sorry, there was a comment made at the meeting there was pointing going on. You've been doing this for 100 years. 100 years. We've only been doing it 36.
I got 22 more years before I can be doing it for 100 years.
Well,
I'm just so
And that
glad
would be
that
living.
I'm not sitting in any of those seats. I just, I
Well,
have
for
to.
reasons like this, exactly, is a reason that we do not get more people who will run because they're going to be listed, labeled, whatever,
That's
put in
right.
a certain category. That's a white guy or that's a black guy. Whatever. No.
We talked about that
Stop
last week. You remember? People don't want to run. There was, I know me, along with several other friends that delve into the political world a lot. We talked to a lot of people over the last year about you ought to run for this. And nope, don't want anything to do with it. I'm disgusted with both parties. I'm not getting into the drama, et cetera, et cetera. And then they don't come out and vote. So, you're kind of, people just like, and it's like I was saying yesterday, anybody in the city of Jacksonville has an opportunity to be a part of the vote, to go out and run.
Everybody in the city of Jacksonville, 18 years of age and older,
Yes.
and hasn't been convicted of a felony,
Right.
has an obligation
Right.
to vote. You know what? You have the right to do it, but my God, if you don't do it, when you don't use it, you will lose it. At some point in time, if you don't drive that car of yours on a regular basis, if you don't run your lawnmower on a regular basis, your chainsaw on a regular basis, you're going to lose the ability to do that because they're going to freeze up on you. Same thing happens when you stop voting. When you do not get out and vote,
Right.
when you come up with that age-old excuse, well, mine's only one vote, it's not going to count. You are fooling no one but yourself. And look in the mirror, and then tomorrow you'll be able to say, I met up close and personal an idiot.
I can tell you since I turned 18,
How does that sound to you?
in all the years that I've voted, I've only missed voting one time since I
Me
was 18.
too.
Yeah, we know what yours
And I was
was.
mad as a wet
Well,
hen because they wouldn't let me out of the hospital bed.
Well, my daughter, who was a baby, just came out of the hospital, and when her daddy took her and said, I'm taking her out and buying her this and that, I laid my head down and I slept for like 12 hours. So I missed voting that day. She got out on voting day. And that was back in the day when they didn't really have all this early voting. So
Yeah, well, back in that
that's
day.
the only time I missed voting.
But Ronald Reagan was running for president, so I know about that one. I worked all day long because, on voting day and the television news business, we had people that would work 8 hours a day, but that was not one of them. I worked from 6:30 in the morning until whenever. And then whenever at that point in time was the time the polls were getting ready to close. I drove just as hard as I could down to my polling place. It was a little church on Carolina Beach Road, just north of the Snowscud Bridge, and I stood in line. I voted. I was not the last one in line at the time the 7:30 rolled around, but I wasn't far from it. I voted at like 10 o'clock at night. I stood in line from 7:30-ish until 10 o'clock to vote. The polls had to stay open because of people like me who didn't get out there in time. But that's how important that was. And there was only one day to vote. One day. But that can happen. But that's why it was important for me to vote. imported all those other people to vote, and we did.
I just, you know, I love being an American. I love living where I live. And I want to be a part of what happens now and in the future.
Yes.
And I just feel like it's just, to me, it's a privilege to be able to go vote.
If you're not part of it, the future is dim.
Right.
If we are all not part of it, the future is not bright.
Well,
If
I'll
you
probably
don't
get a
believe
lot
it,
of heat for this.
There are other
Rayford.
places, other countries.
I'll probably get a lot of heat for this.
Mhm.
But I do have to say that over the last decade, say 10 years, our presidential seat, our the position of the president has changed so much over the years, to where back in the Ronald Reagan days, we had a polished president that would walk up to the podium, give his speech, whatever. Everybody watched him, regardless of what side of the aisle you
Pop
were
some
on.
jokes.
You know, pop a few jokes. But when you heard the president was coming on, you got in front of the TV and you sat down and you listened.
Mhm.
The presidency has changed so much over the years. We had a President Biden, that we never knew if he was going to make it through a speech. We never knew if he was going to be able to get on the stage and off the stage without falling off of it. You know, the man has some issues, you know, and more or less became a laughing stock.
Okay.
And now we have Trump, who has no filter and offends a lot of people with his words and actions. And I think that you have a lot of people that are very kind of disturbed over the way the office of the president has gone over the last decade. They're not going to come out and say anything.
We had
But
Bill Clinton,
yes.
who was in
Oh, yes. Let's go back
overall,
there.
other than that,
Yeah.
those that other than that,
I didn't do it.
other than that,
Mhm.
and that, and that,
That,
and
yes.
that, and that.
And oh my
Was
goodness,
actually
that.
presidentially
Right.
speaking, was a pretty decent president.
Who is that?
Bill Clinton.
Oh, yes.
Other than
Mhm.
his presidential work
Mhm.
itself, was pretty dang good.
Right.
Okay, we had
Obama,
Bush,
Bush, right.
and then and we had Bush, and we had
Mhm.
Bush, and by and large, they were both fairly decent presidents
Yes.
overall.
Yes.
And then we had Obama, which
He was
other
an
than
eloquent
some
speaker.
eloquent speaker,
Yes.
but other than some very shortcomings about a lack of working in the real world,
Mhm.
he didn't have that. He was not a bad president overall.
Right.
We had Trump that popped in with no political experience whatsoever. Not that I don't think that's not good. He did have a lot of
Right.
business experience. He had a lot of failures in his businesses. Everybody in businesses has failures.
Yes.
Okay, you
Yeah.
know that's going to happen. Some things work, some things don't. Keep trying, and he kept trying. He had some things handed to him. Okay, who hasn't in most of the cases, right? How many self-starters are there in the big world of politics? Not that many. They get a hand up to begin with. That's the way it works. Biden, Trump's first 4 years, the wasteful part of those 4 years were not because of him, but because of him. Because of him being an outsider, he didn't know what the Beltway was like. He didn't know what was inside that system, and he didn't know how to work within that system. There are
Right.
things you got to do, things you should not be doing, and things you better not be doing. And he kind of screwed up on a bunch of that stuff, but he was not going to kiss anybody's butt.
Mm-hmm.
And he made that perfectly clear because he went in as a very successful, at the top of his game, business guy. Some failures, lots of wins. But he wasn't going to deal with the kinds of garbage that had been dealt with by presidents because of who they were. They would just go along to get along. That's all they would do. Right?
Yep.
And then we had Biden, who was just a stopgap, and what a stupid mistake that the Democrats made. They'd have been better off letting Trump win a second term and let him get it out of his system and be one and done, and plan for a big, strong takeover in 2024, of which they failed to do. And then they had a comeback. And when you got a comeback and come from
he
way
came
behind
back,
type of individual, then you as a party, a Democrat party, you still get in there and you decide we're going to do everything we can to stifle anything he does. Even though everything, whatever, not everything, the things that they go after are perfectly legitimate. But no, they're going to use whatever powers they have to discredit. And it's not to discredit Trump. He's just there because he's one and done. Well, two and done now, right?
Yep.
In 2 years, he's over. But
Not according to him.
They're doing it to go after the party. They're only party oriented. Now, Trump's not very party oriented, as we all know. That's the one, in my personal opinion, that's one of the things that I really like about him. He doesn't care who he offends and what party. If they deserve it, they need it, go for it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't. So he's not a political hack, as so many presidents, has so many elected officials here, there, and everywhere are. Let's do weather. You've been warned. You have been warned. Stay on shore.
Right.
Or no further than the relatively quiet waters of the rivers and creek along the intercoastal waterway today, but carry a poncho. Fish bite when it's raining, but don't go offshore to try to find them. The promised cold front is moving across coastal waters this afternoon into early evening, bringing with it gusty winds and growing seas along with showers and a few thunderstorms. We've got some rain in the area, but that's just some light rain right now. We don't know what's going to be coming, except we do know it's going to get blustery and the seas are going to get big. Today, up to 60 nautical miles, southwesterly winds 20 to 25 knots, increasing to 25 to 30 this afternoon. Seas 5 to 6 feet, building to 6 to 8 in the afternoon. There's a reason not to go, okay? Just don't. A chance of showers, a slight chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds 10 to 15, seas 4 to 6 feet. Saturday, winds out of the south 10 to 15, becoming southwesterly 15 to 20. Gust of 25 in the afternoon on Saturday. Seas 3 to 5, showers likely, a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon.
Today, showers and thunderstorms with some storms producing heavy rainfall. High near 77. Southwest wind 6 to 11 miles per hour with gusts as high as 18. New rainfall amounts between 1/4 and 1/2 inch possible. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 54. Friday, partly sunny with a high near 73. And Saturday, another chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high near 77.
Not friends out there.
Looks like we may have a Mother's Day washout. We'll wait and see.
Okay, that's this weekend, folks. We haven't talked about it much, but remember Mama, okay?
Mama.
Remember Mama.
Mama.
Randy on his golf cart this morning for just a short period of time, riding around the southwest community where he lives, 67 degrees at the time, 99% humidity. He said it was drizzling at that time. I'm sure it picked up a little bit. 29.88 inches of mercury, cloudy, calm. And he had, when he first called in at 5:45, it was 0.06 inches of rain. He called back a little bit later, 0.28 inches of rain. He got a big downpour. Carol, over in River Bend, 68 degrees, 99% humidity. She said it was raining. Winds out of the south, very light, about 1 mile per hour. 0.22 inches of rain in the gauge at that time. No doubt it's increasing. Ward in Cedar Point, 69 degrees it was, and 96% humidity, 29.95 inches of mercury and falling. He had a light breeze from the southwest. He was estimating about 5 miles an hour. It had already dropped 0.10 inches of rain at 5:30. Over in the woodlands this morning, you called in 68 degrees, 92% humidity, 29.88 inches of mercury and falling, no wind. And in the rain gauge at that time was 0.04. I had 0.00. I had nothing at that time.
30 minutes later, it climbed up to 0.09.
Yeah. Joe in the borough of Swansboro, 69 degrees, 99% humidity. He's not walking the beaches of Emerald Isle today. 29.89 inches of mercury. Light rain at the time. Northwesterly winds at 3. No telling what the winds were kicked up to be. And the rain, 0.17 inches of rain at, he called in about, 6:30 this morning, I think it was. And Brian in the borough, 67.6 degrees, 93% humidity, 29.55 inches of mercury. And at the time he called in, he's not very far from Joe. He had 0.02 inches of rain, and I think the rain was just beginning to start there. Richard over in Maysville, 92% humidity. He said he's some aerial stuff for you guys want to go flying. Don't. It's got a ceiling of 4,000 feet. It's overcast. It's not real pretty up there to be flying around in case you left to go flying. Southwesterly winds 7 to 10, 0.05 inches of rain at the time. On the south side around the Geiger area of Jacksonville, 67 degrees. Ron called in this morning. It was raining, and at that time he was just pulling into Geiger, and it was no wind. Here at the studio, it's now 68 degrees, 99% humidity, and we've had 0.04 inches of rain, and we had nothing up until about 45 minutes ago. It feels like 74 degrees outside. It's 99% humidity. It is raining. 29.69 inches of mercury, in case you're interested. On a sailboat, this gentleman, his name is Jim. He lives on a sailboat in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. He just lives on a sailboat. He's tied up at the docks there. 51 degrees, 29.68 inches of mercury, northwesterly winds at 5 and 0.21 inches of rain. Ken in New Hampshire at 46 degrees, 29.70 inches of mercury, and it was climbing, no wind, and 0.69 inches of rain. We're going to have some water today, later today,
Yes.
off and on. You can expect it. What that means for you folks, it's been a while since we've had the roads cleaned, and we've had nothing but cars driving along those roads. When they hit their brakes and they lock up their wheels, there's a little asphalt, a little rubber that meets the road, and rubber is going to be greasy. You've got oil spilling from cars. You got transmission fluid spilling from cars. You got hydraulic fluid spilling from something, no doubt. You got all sorts of greasy stuff out there. It gets mobilized when it gets wet.
I'm glad you brought that up, Rayford, because on my way in this morning, there was a lot of ponding
And the
on
pond,
Bell Fork Road.
and the
A
ponding.
lot of ponding.
Those roads are not real flat. They got holes and little caves in them where perhaps the bottom underneath them wasn't as solid as it should have been when they paved over it, and they got small holes here and there, and those holes get water in them. If they got poor drainage, they didn't design the roadway right, or they didn't build it according to the design, one or the other, and there's ponding in them, and you're driving along at 55 miles an hour, and your left tires are in the center of the road, and it's up on kind of a high ridge, and the right side is kind of like in a concave area, and it's got water in it, and your right wheels hit that as your left wheels are hitting dry pavement, or mostly dry pavement. And then it's like, whoa, where did all this come from? And you start spinning. Hit your brakes, and then you will spin out completely out of control.
Yeah, I
Be
saw
careful, people.
quite a few vehicles traveling a little too fast this morning that were hitting the puddles, the ponding,
Thanks.
and fishtailing. I'm like, okay.
Thanks to WCTI and Donnie Cox and his team, and the ham radio guys that showed up yesterday at the Richlands Piggly Wiggly store. They did the first Weather Radio Wednesday for the month for this year, and they got 3 more on schedule so far. But they were there, and I got a report this morning. Had a decent number of people turned out, but not as big as it has been in past years. A couple of reasons for that. Maybe we filled up the coffers. Maybe a lot of people over the last 3 years they've been doing this, at least 3 years. Maybe they got their weather radios then, and they don't have to get them now. For you newbies in the area, you don't have to get new radios if yours are working fine. But if you want to get yours reprogrammed to activate only when Onslow County and/or Jones County and/or Lenore County and/or the surrounding counties. If you want it to operate, go off when there's bad weather in these other counties, let these guys know, and they will reprogram your radios for nothing at these weather radio Wednesdays that they have, that WCTI has scheduled. If you don't have a weather radio, or yours is, like kind of old, your batteries that you've got in it were changed in 1993, and then you try to open it up, and they're just going to be scraping the stuff out of it. They probably might be a good time to change radios. You may have spent $19 for it years ago. They will cost you about $50 now.
Yeah.
That's the going rate. The Midland radios is what most of the folks are buying, and they've got some really good radios. The basic model works great, and the cool thing about it, as compared to your old radios, when that alarm goes off, when we used to have to get up, put some clothes on, and go into the other room to reset it, otherwise you're going to get hearing the weather radio all night long. It doesn't do that anymore. It resets itself.
Oh.
It rearms, so you're good to go.
I tell you, when I was out at the event yesterday, good turnout, and they were set up just perfect. So they were at the left side of the exit door.
Yeah.
So when you go in and when you went in the front door,
They get you coming out.
Yeah, but when they go in, there was the display of the Midland radios, batteries, everything you would need. Pick it up there, take it out, get it programmed, go on your way.
And it won't take but just a very few minutes to do that, and you get a chance to talk to Donnie while some of the hams are reprogramming your radios.
They were doing it.
You can have a chat with him. Ask him. You can ask him all sorts of things. He's a very good guy. He's a friendly guy. He's
Yes, very
not
nice.
stuck up. He's not a little wimp. He's got credentials too. I can tell you that because I looked at his credentials when he was right out of school. Unfortunately, I didn't have a place for him at the time.
Yeah.
I would hire him today in a heartbeat. Should have hired him then just to keep him on standby.
I like Donnie. I like Charlie Ironmonger too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
New chief meteorologist.
And who is the other one? This Jim that's on in the morning on WITN. I can't think of Jim's last name.
Nora's.
He's pretty cool. He gets very animated when he does the weather.
Well, you're up in the mornings to watch that.
Well, I have it on while I'm feeding the dogs and the cat and getting ready. So
Putting your face on.
there's not much help there. There's not
No,
much
he's
to
been
do
there. He's been there a long time.
Yes, yes.
We got a good team. I make fun of TV news people a lot because I was one to begin with, and then I became management, so I hired and I fired them. I set policies. Our policies were probably a little bit different than any policies where these same people have gone to work since then, because other people were not like me. Other news directors nowhere in the country was there other than me, I think.
And it's Jim Howard.
Yeah, Jim Howard. Yeah, he's a nice guy too.
Yeah, he gets very animated. I like to watch him.
He does.
But anyway, the teams around here, they're dedicated. We have to take into consideration, like I used to tell people, you got to take into consideration our guys. We hire people, and most of them that we hire, it's their first job ever in TV. So they are like thrown into the middle. It's like a guy right out of high school, basically, entering the United States Marine Corps. He doesn't know nothing, honey, and they'll tell you so. Then they'll prove it, and then you believe them, and then they build you up. But that's pretty much what it takes. I always tell folks, once you graduate from college and you got a degree in communications, broadcast communications would be better, but just general communications. Okay, but you've got to have a desire. You really have to have a desire, and consider your first job as a graduate course.
Yeah,
You really are not going to earn much money, but you're really not going to be earning your keep, because you're going to learn more, and at least you're not having to pay for the education.
yeah. I think a lot of people know or are familiar with the name Al Roker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He is not a meteorologist.
He's not a meteorologist.
He is
He's a communicator.
He's a communicator, which I found interesting because when there's severe weather, we're going to go to Al Roker right now. He comes in at nighttime and he goes, "Oh yeah, well, we've got these storms over here and storms over there and storms over there." He's just an entertainer.
I'm not a meteorologist. I read you the information that the National Weather Service has out there. Now, I can interpret some of that for you, particularly the marine forecast, because I have to use it when I'm using my boat, and I know what they're talking about, and I know what they're talking about, what it means. The difference in a lot of cases is those guys who write some of that stuff, they don't really understand what it means to the common people. I'm the common person, so I can translate it. And that's what a lot of good meteorologists and weather people on TV will do. If they're good communicators and they can explain it to us, that's what counts.
Yeah, who long time ago at Channel 12 was the guy, and he ended up going to the Weather Channel for a little while. They used to throw suns up.
And
in the clouds.
Was that Craig Weber?
Yeah, that's it. Craig Weber. Yeah.
They would have magnets on them. They would stick up before the days of all the electronic stuff. But those guys can be real. They were really fun.
And of course,
watch the magnets when they start to slide.
The
front is moving.
Yeah.
No one can compare to Skip.
Nope.
Skip Weber. Nobody.
Great communicator.
Yes. No one can compare to him. He was the best.
By the way,
that barking is not from outside, is it?
No, it's Lucy.
910-333-0139.
Call in number. Call us. You want to talk about something, bring us up.
We do have
a guest coming in here, scheduled to be in here in about 15 minutes or so. A former co-host of mine, and we had a lot of fun. He brought his sword to my gunfight.
Ever taken knife to a gunfight?
Just kidding, Joe. Just kidding. He loved to play swords.
And of course, it's Thursday, so that means it's time.
Yes.
Find out what's going on.
And he'll be calling sometime around 8:15.
Yeah, and Chris will probably have some baseball playoff updates, because the same time that Swansboro Jacksonville was playing lacrosse, Swansboro's baseball team was playing.
Our president, as we discussed yesterday, halted the Project Freedom operation that he had started a day after it started, claiming that Iran has seen the light and that a workable agreement is in the works that will reopen the Strait of Hormuz, that will in turn allow a return to the days when the waterway was the primary connection for commercial shipping interests in the region around the world. Everything from oil to cars was shipped through the waterway, which has been more of a water war since the demented people serving the self-serving leaders of the rogue nation of Iran all but closed it. We had to reopen it for them. This week, Project Freedom saw U.S. warships prepared to take whatever action necessary against any and all efforts to stop or hinder commercial shipping. In putting the project on hold, calling Tehran's hands, the U.S. blockade, which prevents any ships from going to Iranian ports or ships already at the ports from leaving, will remain in place. We're not going to be shooting people. We're not going to be escorting ships through. But if you shoot at us, we're going to shoot back. If you shoot, when we're not in a shooting war, that doesn't count for those 60 days. If they shoot first, those days don't count. We can return fire. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Tuesday that Operation Epic Fury is over, but refused to let up any sanctions, warning Iran is still facing generalization destruction of their economy. As Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi arrived in Beijing on Tuesday to meet his Chinese counterpart, Rubio warned from the White House that any countries violating U.S. sanctions on Iran would face secondary sanctions against them. I don't know whether y'all have read or heard the story. Here's one. The story of the thousands of Iranian citizens who have been slaughtered by the reigning dictatorial self-proclaimed rulers in that country. Thousands have been killed, executed. 3 Iranian prisoners executed over the last weekend, described the torture, the forced confessions, and denied legal rights in messages shared with the Jerusalem Post before they were killed. Yaghub Karamapur, 43, Nasser Bakerzada, 26, were hanged last Saturday, while Mihrab Abzoladah, 28, was executed Sunday at the prison there. None were granted final visits with their families. Karampour, who was accused of espionage, said he confessed under pressure after authorities threatened his wife. That's the way they get to you. You fess up, or we're going to go after your wife and your children. That's a standard procedure for ruling rogues. Many things were dictated to me, he wrote, and I wrote untruths involuntarily and out of helplessness. Begharzadeh, also accused of spying, said he endured months of solitary confinement and severe psychological torture. Abdolazadeh, who denied involvement in a protest-related killing, said he was beaten for days on end and coerced into confessing. I'm completely innocent, but they want to make me a scapegoat. It was easier to die for them than it was to continue that kind of stuff. And according to the report, all three cases involved allegations of coerced confessions, lack of legal representation, and trials that lasted minutes. The stories of these most recent victims of Tehran's judicial system is not why we've been at an undeclared war with Tehran, not with the Iranian population. That's not why we go to war. And it's a sad state of affairs that the nations of the misnamed United Nations have not gone to the aid of the oppressed Iranian population. It is not and should not be the duty of one nation, especially the United States, to take on this kind of action solo. Without a doubt, the U.S. would join a United Nations decision to return Iran to the Iranian citizens, people that I'm pretty sure would gladly adhere to demands by all the nations to surrender all uranium raw products, along with any enriched uranium already produced, and agree to a non-nuclear pact in exchange for assistance in allowing them to set up and run a free government. Why is that so hard for the UN to understand? The United Nations, a large group of individuals from a large number of countries, they can go in when there is going to be genocide or such inhumane torture against the citizens of any other country. They can, as a group of nations, go in together to take care of that problem. The United States alone would have to declare war to do that. It's not what we want. It's not the way we do it. You have rules. We have rules. It's not up to Russia to dictate to us what our rules are. It's not up to us to dictate what Iran's rules are. However, if the entire United Nations says Iran, that's all cruel and very unusual punishment. They can do that, and they can enforce that doctrine. But why won't they? Because a couple of countries don't want to.
It's interesting. There were a story last night because Ted Turner had passed away.
Yes.
It started WTBS, then known as TBS.
Before that, what was it?
WMGE? I think GME. I know it was a local station in Atlanta.
Yes.
And he turned that into
CNN
network. They put it up on satellite to begin with.
Yeah.
And then they got around to changing the call letters to the Turner Broadcasting System, TBS.
Yeah. Then there was Turner Network Television.
It's gone from. He doesn't own it anymore. Didn't own it anymore.
No. He owned the Atlanta Braves, the Atlanta Hawks. But what I found was interesting is part of the story is because of the story you just gave, Rayford. He donated $1 billion to the United Nations because he said we have a wonderful world, we have a beautiful world, and it's up to these people to make sure it stays that way. $1 billion. I wonder whatever happened with that $1 billion.
He earned the nicknames Captain Outrageous and the Mouth of the South.
Well, he used to have a sailboat competed in this international sailing regard.
I think he won.
He did.
Yeah. He won one year.
1991 Times Magazine Man of the Year.
He said that his daddy told him to set your goals to unachievable.
And first,
Wow.
one of the only problems that I ever had with him, he married.
Yes,
Who?
he did.
Who did you marry?
They
Annoy
did. Jane
Jane.
Fonda.
Annoy
They
Jane.
divorced. Jane
Did
Fonda.
she divorce him or did he divorce her?
Well, you know.
She
Maybe
called
he
him a
came to
maverick.
his senses,
He
whatever.
was.
Yeah, she has put out a statement on it, and she said he swept into my life a glorious, handsome, deeply romantic, swashbuckling pirate, and I've never been the same. Okay, Jane.
I think she was never the same way before that.
She was never the same.
He was a good-looking man in his younger years.
WJRJ-TV, 1967 and 1970, we changed call letters to WTCG. That was the one we knew.
TCG.
In 1970 through 1976 or so. Turner purchased it, and then they called it Watch This Channel Grow was WTCG. That's what they came out with. Superstation, WTBS, Superstation, because it was the first station up on satellites.
Yes, it was. And they brought the war into everybody's homes.
They did.
One thing they did mention was that they brought the O.J. Simpson case to television, but at the same time, Court TV had just launched.
Yes.
I watched it. Did you watch the case?
Oh,
I
yeah.
watched it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
I watched the race that was not a race.
Yeah, yeah.
Low
The car
speed-
chase.
Low
The car
speed
chase.
It wasn't a chase. It was low speed
Car
pursuit.
chase.
Interrupted every television station I can remember.
Oh yeah, do you remember that? Wow.
And then
Who thinks OJ did it?
who thinks OJ did not do it? That would be easier to count.
Right.
If I had done it, this is how I would have done
Yeah.
it. That's how you did it, dude.
Yeah. Very sad.
If this glove doesn't fit, you got to quit. It's leather. It's been wet. It's been sitting in the grass. When they found it, it got dew and blood on it. It's
Wow.
got wet. What happens when leather gets wet? It shrinks.
Yeah.
That whole case was just the defense did their job. The
Yeah.
prosecution had a lot of issues to start with, mainly one detective.
Yeah, because he lied. The minute he lied on the stand,
He
and
was
everybody,
discredited.
and everybody knew he was a
Uh-huh.
liar. My God.
So, I
Hey,
go,
Doofus Brain, did you ever use the N word? No.
No.
Oh, you a liar. You're a liar.
I have a question for our listeners, viewers, for our mothers out there. What would you like for Mother's Day? Now, you're obviously
Don't
not
say
mother.
world peace.
No.
Something achievable. Something you would really like.
Yeah. Flowers. Kathy's kind of very funny. She doesn't, I mean, I take her flowers once a week.
Did
But-
you just say Kathy is kind of funny?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
Hey, Kathy.
she likes the flowers that I bring her. But she would rather me plant rose bushes because they stay forever. The flowers die, after a week or so.
Well, she and Robbie are a lot alike. She'd prefer to have a living plant than a flower.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if any of our listeners know what they're going to do for their mothers, that they're going to say in case their mothers aren't listening. It's always a nice time to go and visit if you don't do it on a regular basis.
If you're a mom, what was a really great gift that you got, especially from children? It's really not a husband's place to buy you gifts, but they do. We do. That's the way we are. But it's children.
What would you want?
I
Yes,
just want a
Mama.
nice, quiet day with my child and maybe cook something on the grill. That's all I need. That's all I need. I don't need gifts. I don't need anything other than just spend some time together and have a nice time. Family time.
Yeah.
The family time is more important to me than being singled out.
Oh, that's very nice.
Get together as a group.
That's right.
Very nice.
That's right.
If the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers can get together, why can't the mothers just get together and have a Mother's Day themselves? With families, all
No,
together,
I understand,
with a big
yeah.
auditorium or something like that.
Right.
Let's all get together. We'll share families. Maybe
Right.
Maybe you are a mom and your family is not available, deployed or whatever, if you're here. But why not just to get together as a group of moms and kind of share everybody's experiences?
I'd be curious to see how many mothers might take in one of these young Marines who's here and their mothers are stationed somewhere else,
Right.
and be their mother for a day.
Chris Miller on the phone.
Here we go. There we go. Let me know when it's time. Let's try that. Ready?
A 1 and a 2 and a 3.
It's Miller time.
Hey, Chris.
Good morning, my friends. Good morning.
Morning, partner.
Nobody can do it but
Morning,
Chris like that.
Yeah, nobody. So, hey, I was. Y'all were talking about Ted Turner. I was, in honor of Ted Turner. I was considering calling in. Wait until 8:05 to call in.
That was a
Yeah.
gimmick that he had on when they launched had the TBS show.
Yeah.
WTBS, actually, they started it with WTCG. They actually started doing things, news at 5 minutes after, or programming, movies.
Mhm.
Because the first 5 minutes of a TV show quite often are either the most important if it's local news,
Yeah.
or it's like garbage if it's a program. So he would launch his programs 5 minutes after.
Yeah.
That was a trademark gimmick, and it worked.
I liked it.
He said he took his
Yep.
dad's idea of billboard signs
Uh-huh.
and turned it into television for advertising. So
Yep.
And for all you Atlanta Braves fans out there, that's how a lot of people around here became Atlanta Braves fans.
Absolutely.
Because the Braves were always on TBS Superstation every night. I mean, that's why we have a lot of Cubs fans as well, because the Cubs every day, every afternoon, especially in the summertime, were on WGN. And but yeah, that's how a lot of Braves fans became Braves fans, because they were on TV every night. And back then, I mean, that's all the baseball you could really watch. So that's one of the reasons why I became a Braves fan, is because they were accessible, and that's So, and then of course TBS, Lee, you'll this is up your neck, you're up your alley. The WCW wrestling.
Oh yes, yes. That was loaded. Yeah.
Well,
That was and for a while, WCW actually took over as the number one
Yes.
Monday Night Wrestling promotion against WWE, and then they were for a couple of years they were number one.
yeah.
She's just like the sweating, muscular, half-naked man, right?
Well, back in those days, the wrestling was wrestling. You actually had a program of wrestling where
Jake
now,
the Snake.
Wahoo McDaniel, Ric Flair, of course, Nature
Yes.
Boy, Johnny Valentine. I could go
Ted
through the list.
DiBiase.
Yeah, but they actually in the 2 hours of wrestling, you had about an hour and 37 minutes of wrestling, and the rest of it was showmanship and commercials. Where now it's twisted around till you get about 20 minutes of wrestling, and the rest of it's
No, they've gone to
That's all right.
Netflix on Monday nights. That's about 3 hours long now. But Rayford, you obviously, and I know you don't get into the WWE. It's pure entertainment. But you obviously haven't seen the way the young ladies dress now. The female wrestlers.
I just,
Huh, Chris?
I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm just like
Yeah.
really thinking about that, and I'm like, I did some photos of female bodybuilders one time,
Yeah.
and
I
that's
don't like
it's
bodybuilding
like
females.
okay, it's just like
Right.
it's an oddity of nature.
These female wrestlers, they're into their physiques, but not like female bodybuilders. But Rayford, you just have to one night just kind of tune over and look at the outfits now that the women wrestlers wear.
I was in
You'll be watching it every night.
I was in Nolan some years ago, and downtown in the French Quarter, and just, taking in all the sights.
Right.
And they said, wrestling, mud wrestling. So I went in. It was women mud wrestling.
Right.
32 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the clothes were gone, and they were in the mud.
Well,
And I said, this is not even entertainment. This is kind of stupid. And I could describe it today as being dirty, and you would understand it.
It's kind of like WWE is more or less for entertainment purposes. They're sort of like they have storylines that they follow. They make millions of dollars, Rayford. There's a lot of people who like to watch the entertainment.
So does the cartel.
Rayford, you make everything negative because you don't like it.
Well, if all you would do is talk compared to making dollars, that's the cartel makes dollars. Big deal. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, Chris, you want to jump in?
But you sound like somebody else we all know. The fact that everybody else loves it, you don't like it. You just want to go against the grain, don't you?
No, if they like it, it's all to them. I've got plenty of TV channels I can watch other than that, and I do. About 400 of them. Maybe 600. I don't know how many I got.
Yeah. Well, you're sitting next to Mr. Spectrum himself.
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Chris.
We need to see if Mr. Marks can help us get some free internet and free free cable TV.
The free thing is cool, but I just would care for consistency and hardening of the arteries.
Why?
Hardening of the hardware.
Yeah. Well, I hope everything worked for you, Chris.
Yeah, I think so. I appreciate your help, and we're gonna probably end up. I spoke with my wife, and I said, "Look, my good friend Chris Marks, who used to work for Spectrum. This is what he said, and he knows what he's talking about. So we may need a new router." And she goes, "Okay, very well." So she won't listen to me, but when I say somebody else, said we need to do this. Oh, okay, very well.
Well, if you buy a new router, I strongly recommend a mesh system. If you want to cover your house, you want to go from way up yonder to way down here. It's got relay systems all the way, like that little box there. I can get my system from upstairs down through 3 layers of brick walls, and I still have great internet down here that way. That's my backup internet for the studio. I've got another router down below me, behind me, that's dedicated just to this room. And it pretty much doesn't go anywhere else because we got too many brick walls between here and there. But I don't need it to go anywhere else.
And that's the technology advice by Rayford Brown.
Absolutely. And it works great.
Yeah. So I hope everybody's doing well, and hopefully this weather holds off, and especially for Mother's Day. So if you haven't, don't forget about the mothers.
Yep. So, Chris, I was going to text you last night, Tuesday night, to see if you were in Swansboro or if you were covering the games somewhere else. I know Swansboro had a baseball game. They had lacrosse going on at the same time.
I was actually on Tuesday night. I was actually at Jacksonville.
Okay.
My 13-year-old had a choir concert at White Oak, so I went to there, and then that got done, and then I made my. And I had let the Jackson coach know that I was going to be a little bit late, but I get there. They're in the 4th inning. They're up 7-0, and then I'm there for about 45 minutes, hour or so, and get some photos. And they win 10-0 in 6 innings, and so everything worked out good. So I had sent Mike Tackett, photographer Mike Tackett, to Swansboro to get some photos of their Swansboro baseball team victory on Tuesday night in their first round game. So. As always, he does a great job, and we're trying to get him to come on y'all's show.
Oh, okay. Mike would be fun. Mike worked for me in the radio.
We talked to Mike this past Saturday, and he's all for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good.
So,
him and his brother Chuck.
He's a character.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So what do we got to look forward to? I'm sure there's nothing outside we're going to be doing over the next day or two.
Well, weather permitting, the second round of baseball and softball playoffs will be Friday. So the Jacksonville Cardinals will travel to West Brunswick on Friday for their second round game. So they advanced to the third round last year. The Cardinals did, so they know what it takes to get that far, and they feel like they're playing some good baseball at the right time.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
We did mention that Jacksonville Cardinals, their lacrosse team, won the north side. So my understanding is from one of our good friends that listens that they're probably going to get a first round bye in the lacrosse playoffs and maybe host a second round game. I think it's coming out tomorrow with all the information on that, but I got to watch lacrosse, and it's an interesting game.
They're armed with sticks.
Well, Chris Marks, you like the sport because they beat each other up with clubs.
Yeah.
Oh no, gosh.
My question is, you've got all those people that can go onto that field out there armed with these weapons of mass destruction, and I can't get into the ball game with a very small stick, without being confronted. Can't I carry my baton in there? No, can't do that.
Thanks, Chris. That's 2 days in a row now. I've said something that has come back.
Well,
Silvers.
I've been watching the videos that have been sent to me, and I'm like, I don't know if I could play that game, because about the time somebody shoulder butted me,
wow,
I'd probably take that stick right upside their head.
That's what happens.
I mean, like I said, it's like ice
you
hockey on
You got to look and
grass.
see what the ref is looking at before you do it.
And I saw some of them, they'd like take their stick and use it and shove the other player. And I'm like, oh, no.
We got training for that. We got special training for that.
I'm just
Well,
like, no.
Yeah, but go ahead, Chris.
Honestly, in lacrosse, the male sport and the female sport, well, actually, I mean, it's the same concept. I mean, you're trying to score goals, but the boys' game is totally different than the girls' game. The boys' game is a little bit more physical. It's kind of like, it's more like hockey where you can run and clash and collide with each other and beat each other up. The girls' game is kind of more, I would compare it more like soccer, where it's not as, it should be as physical, and it's more about speed and finesse and those type of styles. So it's like I said, same concept, similar rules. There are a couple different rules with the boys and girls games.
Yeah.
In terms of the number of players and things like that, but same concept of trying to score goals, but the style of the games are totally different.
To
be honest, I actually prefer the girls' game. I think watching the girls' game is more fun because of the speed and, like I said, the more finesse, and in the boys' game, it's a lot of organized organization, if that makes sense. There's a lot of yelling, there's a lot of screaming, there's a lot of just moving pieces, and players coming out, and
the girls are saving that for marriage.
Yeah, the girls are just out there, playing, but the boys, and I swear, boys high school lacrosse coaches love to yell. That's all they do all game is yell.
We are men.
Yeah, they scream and yell more than high school football coaches.
I tell you, and Chris is right, because as I watched the girls' game, it was very more finesse, a lot of running. I mean, a lot of running, and
these are the Southern girls, right? They're nice and polite.
Pretty much, yeah. It was this match was Swansboro and Jacksonville.
Go up north and see what it is.
But there was very few, body contact, anything that was more finesse, getting the rubber ball and passing to the teammates and things. But and so Chris, what you're talking about, if people can picture this. So I'm sitting in the stands, the girls' game is going on, and here comes Swansboro's team, and they all look like they're hockey players. I mean, they've got the big helmets and the masks
from battle.
Yeah, and
Swansboro.
I remember Zach Patterson's dad was telling me a story last year. before one of the Cardinal football games that his son, with all that protective gear that they wear, that rubber ball, he caught it in his jaw.
I remember
broke
that,
it,
yeah.
broke his jaw. So, yeah, it's a lot more physical.
I don't think that's called catching it.
No, he didn't catch it.
I thought you said he caught the ball in his chin.
Yeah, I saw that video. He showed me that video several weeks ago, and you actually hear that ball hitting him in the face.
Wow.
You actually hear it.
Yeah. You know what would be neat is at one of Jacksonville's lacrosse games to have an announcer go, and from the Jacksonville Daily News, Chris Miller on the field.
Oh my God.
And he'd be wearing shorts.
And
Chris is in the shorts.
And then you will need a hockey stick.
It's not going to be long. It's not going to be long. I mean, school's about to end, and then practice will start in a couple months, and we'll be right back at this dance.
You just made me. I got a question for Chris. While getting to the game and finding a parking spot, Chris, Swansboro football team was out and looked like they were in pads.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I guess it's okay for them. What is that
training?
Well, no. Well, several years ago, you know how, Chris, you know how the like college teams will have like spring practice, and they'll have spring practice. A lot of them will have like their spring game. It's basically a glorified scrimmage. Between the offense and defense. About several years ago, the High School Athletic Association allowed high school football programs to kind of have their version of spring practice. So, where you could put pads on and just kind of get acclimated and kind of have
an exhibition thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just for the athletes that are not playing other sports like baseball, it kind of gives them a chance to kind of get their foot in the door of going into the summer workout season. So
that's good.
They do that, and so it's good. So that's why you saw a lot of those players wear helmets.
Thanks.
Asking you, she'll get the answer.
Is there? Well, I got one more question. Is there going to be conference realignment this year? Again?
No, we had that last year, so that's why. That's why White Oak moved into the conference with Jacksonville, and Northside moved in outside. Moved into a different conference with like Dixon and some of those schools. So it usually is a 4-year process. I assume that this one will probably be maybe 2 or 3 years, and then we'll kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work, and then we'll see what goes on here the next couple of years.
Sounds like property reevaluation.
Yep. And then, but there's a lot of changes that's going on with the association. There's, recently this week they sanctioned girls flag football and boys volleyball as sanctioned sports in the association. So Swansboro High School has a boys volleyball team. At the moment, they're the only ones in all the county public school wise that have them. We have a couple of private schools that have them, like Jacksonville Christian Academy. Flag football, girls flag football is on the rise, and we had quite a few athletes that are playing flag football. So it's these are added opportunities, and we'll see what these opportunities, how far these things go.
That'd be cool.
Chris, we thank you as always, sir.
Thanks,
Very
partner.
informative.
Thank you. You guys stay dry with this rain, and
Me too.
Chris Marks, stay out of trouble this weekend.
I'm going to do my best, partner. You do the
As long
same.
as he doesn't lose his clothes or,
What?
lose his clothes or,
Chris?
yeah.
Not that one, too.
7, 8, 8,
Tornadoes and severe thunderstorms ripped through Mississippi last night. Ripped through them. And they had National Weather Service issuing tornado warnings for several cities and counties across the state. They had about 1,000 businesses had a lot of damage there. Who do we have here this morning?
I do not know.
What in the world?
I'm not familiar with that number. But
Oh, they hung up. So
they're online
we'll
too
take them on
now.
line number 2. Good morning. Do you live and local?
Yep, we're live and local.
What's up?
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing fine.
How
What
you
you doing
doing?
out there with that old man hanging around?
Well, I'm on a heating pad and he's at work.
I'm like,
Mm.
Oh, well,
Yeah, you know, more of that sounds just disgusting than normal, isn't it? Can we relate? Can all of us relate to this?
Well, Mama had a procedure on Monday. She's 91. Happy Mother's Day to my 91-year-old mama.
Absolutely.
And she still thinks that I'm a teenager. And, of course, taking care of her.
And you don't.
You got that right. And so we had the procedure she had, we had to lift her up and pull her like you do in the hospital. Well, you know, at this age, it's not as easy as it was like she thinks we can do. And I pulled my back out. But anyway.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but it's okay. You know, I would lay down and die for her if I had to. I'd do whatever I could do to take care of my mama.
Okay.
If it wasn't for my mama, I wouldn't be here to aggravate y'all.
There you go. Okay, now let me go ahead and give you the doctor stuff. Alternate heat and cold for the back. Don't just stay on a heating pad. Okay.
I am.
Just to let
But
you know.
you know what? But you know what? The rest
The heat
he's a
feels
lot
good.
better. Yeah.
I've always thought so too.
But that doesn't help the inflammation to go down. You've got some inflammation in there. Cool it
I
down
appreciate
first.
that. I know. I was doing that the day before yesterday, and then I said, this heat does feel a lot better, but it doesn't seem to be improving. But it'll get there.
No, it just feels good. It doesn't help you.
No. But I want to say something. Chris Miller, I tell you what,
He's got it.
he has so much information. I mean, I really appreciate what he does.
So
not
do we.
only, I mean, he can go back years and years and years and still remember some of these things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I should say, well, can I say something about another show he's on, or is that against rules?
Oh, you can talk about it wherever.
Okay, well, you know, the Daily News, they only produce for what, 2 days a week or something like that?
I
guess.
After the fact of here.
I think 3 now.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know either.
And he really can't cover all of everything that's going on in that little bit of articles. But, you know, he's on a show with Steve Goodson, that Man Cave Media. And what I like about that show, and it's during the daytime, usually on Wednesdays at, I think, 12. And then they've got another show where they've got homegrown people, in other words, athletes that have started off here and went off and did better things. And they have the show, and what they do, and I really love this, they have included the girls on this. In other words, they'll bring a coach in, and they'll take, like, softball teams, baseball teams, football teams, whoever, has done the best on that team or whatever, and bring them in and interview, sort of like just like in a little room, like a army little room, like his basement. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the good part about it is, you always hear about boys. I love how they brought in the girls and how they're promoting girl athletes these days. You know, and it's coming a lot more. It's coming out a lot more, but what they do, I really enjoy, and I would recommend. I mean, and they go all schools. You know, Croatan, Dixon. I mean, everything in every sport, and they go into detail about everything, and they go about how they got there and what they do, and it just amazes me how Chris and Steve both are knowledgeable on these things, and especially Chris, how he got so far back. I'm like, dang, he looks so young and he remembers all this old stuff, and I'm like, and it's really good, I think, for the community to actually see these people. We could talk about Michael Jordan or whoever, but we don't see Michael Jordan or whatever.
We could see him in about a week.
Yeah, well, yeah, Bill Marlin.
Yeah.
That's
So he
right.
starts out in Wilmington, but look where he's at now. But see, here we got these kids now that's on Facebook and YouTube, and Chris and Steve get them together, and they share where they were, what they like, how they're doing. And he goes to all the schools, and they include boys and girls. And I really like that. I really like that they're promoting the girls.
The only problem that you've got there is you said that they bring the girls down into the basement. Do they ever let them out? Do you think they ever would you let your daughter go down into the basement with a bunch of crudgety old men? Huh?
Well, I think these two are okay, and they feed them. to feed them.
Yeah, we see a lot of eating on this show.
Yeah, you watch that too.
A lot of
Don't you?
eating on this show.
Yes, but I really appreciate. I don't know. I've never met Chris, but just hearing, through y'all, and then
He's a
watching
great guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
Well, if you come out to
But
the football games, he comes up in the stands with us from time to time to say hi.
Well, I'm
Very
just going to have to
personable.
do that.
Y'all need to
I
go
thought-
ahead. You and that old dude. Y'all need to make plans so we can have our own. We can expand our cheering section because
Yeah.
we sit with an eyesight. I look at my right shoulder and I can see this dude who calls the games. He's the MC. He's the head dude. He's the play-by-play guy.
Yeah, we have the radio going on.
No, this is the guy in the stands that calls it over the PA system. You got Chris right here.
I know it.
And doing
I know
that.
it.
And he does a great job.
Thank
Yes, he does.
Really
Yes,
good
he
job
does.
at it. Even though I've wired the microphone into his system, from time to time we will make snide remarks, and it goes out over the PA system. It's okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't say too much about it.
Yeah.
But really, you and some other Cardinal folks need to bring your butts out to the games. We went to every one of them. We did not miss one last year, away or here.
That's correct.
And I thoroughly enjoy it. Matter of fact, I like all teams. I mean, with my grandson being younger, I mean, he'll be a senior. He meets a lot of these kids from some of these schools,
Sure.
playing basketball.
Yep.
And, even though they're competing against one another, they're still friends in the end, which
They're
makes it
supposed to
nice.
be. That's what makes.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So.
But the kids that they have on are good. I mean, they're good kids.
They are.
Not that all kids are not. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
All kids are not good.
I no, and of course we think our children are the best of all. Even if they're not, we think they are. But I really want to thank Chris for his knowledge and Steve. That shows that they've got up and running, promoting all different schools and the athletes and where they're starting out and where they might end up. I mean, you don't ever know. And I just wanted to thank him for that, and Steve for doing that.
We do appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
Right.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. And one more thing. What time is it? Is it time for weather?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, forget it. It's raining. I'll just tell you that.
Okay, well,
That's part of the weather.
yeah.
Well, could somebody just explain something real quick to me?
I
real
can try.
Sure.
Quick? Okay. It's about that ward mess, and I know you don't want to get back
Oh,
into
Lord.
it, but no way. I know you didn't want to.
I do. I don't care. I can get right back
Well,
into
I
it. I'm way too familiar with it, and
Well,
I'm way too opinionated about it. So go ahead.
Well, I got into it with one of the but anyway, this is my question. Okay, if you're in Ward 1 and you're in Ward 5, okay? So if you're in Ward 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever number you want to say, and you only have to get 200 votes, but then another ward has to get like 2,000 votes. Is that how that works? See, I'm not in the city, so it doesn't really, that's how it works, correct?
Yeah, buddy.
Well, let me ask you another question real quick. Why does it matter if our representatives, even though they're not in the city, what's wrong with them representing our county to present something to Raleigh? Well, why is that a problem?
It's not.
It's not.
They serve if they're. You're talking about like state house and state senate.
Yes,
I don't care where they live. They live in Onslow County. They represent all of
Exactly.
Onslow County. Period. Bottom line. That's it. Jack.
Well, see, I couldn't figure out because he said that one of our representatives was trying to colonize us, and I'm like, colonize? I'm like, and like I said, I don't live in Jacksonville. I mean, I'm in the county though.
If you do that, most of the cities in North Carolina are not working under a ward system. Cities our size, are they?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Well, they got like 2 at large, so.
Yes, they do.
I said, so why is that 2 at large and then the rest aren't at large? I'm not understanding that. And he told me I needed to go back to civics and read something civil rights laws, and I'm like, I ain't got time to read all that crap.
Well,
Sounds like to me, if you only have just 200 votes, you don't. And I don't know, and I'm not being against any individual at all because I'm not even involved. But I don't understand why you know you're going to win if you only have 200 people, let's say, in your ward. And then you've got these other people that's got to get a couple of thousand. So what's the big deal about going large? And I think I agree with what Chris said. It's about the winning.
Thank you.
It's
Does that
it's
make
all
sense?
it's about, just the title.
And am I correct about that? In my wee little pea brain?
I mean, I don't think you're a pea brain. I don't think I'm a pea brain. I understand that people think it has to do with geographic proportions and people in each geographical area be a representative. But the city of Jacksonville is one city. It's as simple as that.
Correct.
And if you have a city council and you have a city council made up of 6 city council members and a mayor,
Yes.
and you think that you are the best qualified person to represent every single person in the city, run in an open. That's as simple as that. If
Well,
you,
that's what I was thinking, but it seems like they want a different that I don't like and I don't want to talk about.
They want to move the goalpost to fit their needs.
I do want to read a comment that we
Yes,
have on
yes,
our
ma'am.
page about, and I'll do that after weather. I do want to be fair and read what the other side, what
Okay.
those in support of the wards have to say.
Okay. Y'all have a good one.
Thank
and,
you.
Have a blessed day.
Kudos to Mr. Chris Miller and Steve for what they're doing for our
Thank you.
young athletes.
Mhm.
And I didn't know if I could mention another show on there. I don't know.
You got one time. You got one shot. You did it.
Yes. And that's the last time. No, just kidding.
It was about the,
Just
it was
kidding
about the
with
kids. It was about the kids.
Yeah.
And,
Yes,
and,
it's about the kids.
and how they put them out there and
Chris
I like
makes that
that.
show.
and the females, bringing the females in. I like that too.
Chris makes that show.
They're lucky to have Chris
Yes,
in
they
there.
are.
Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
they are.
Oh, you got that right. I'm like, how does he know that? He's younger than I am.
Chris
He
Miller's the
remember
best.
all that stuff.
Right.
Thank you, Joey.
Thanks, Joy.
All right. Well,
Have a blessed week.
Rayford, what year did you graduate?
66.
You know, anybody graduated in '63?
Nah.
That's the
They're a bunch of old people. I didn't know those people.
Oh,
Y'all have a good
you
one.
did.
Bye.
Take care of that back.
Stay on shore today. Don't go out there no further anyway than the quiet waters of the rivers and the creeks along the intercoastal waterway. There are fish out there, and the winds are not too high today, but the offshore, that's not going to be the case. The promised cold front is moving our way. I haven't seen the temperatures dropping, but we're supposed to be
Yeah.
having a cold front coming across the area. That's going to bring with it some sloppy weather, especially offshore, with the big gusty winds that are promised. We're going to see. Oh, I see a trees moving a little bit now, beginning.
Mhm.
So that's just the beginning, I guess. The edge of the front. Anyway, today out to 60 nautical miles, way out yonder to the Big Rock and beyond. Southwesterly winds 20 to 25 knots, increasing to 25 to 30 this afternoon. 5 to 6 footers. Don't get bigger. 6 to 8 this afternoon. Chance of showers, a slight chance of thunder boomers. I've been hearing thunder for the last few days, but I'm pretty sure it's the howitzers out there at the Hubert area, because I hear that on a
I
regular
hope that's
basis.
what it is.
I do too. I hope it's ours, not theirs. So anyway, tomorrow, northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, east 4 to 6. Saturday, southerly winds 10 to 15, becoming southwesterly 15 to 20, gust to 25 in the afternoon on Saturday. 3 to 5 footer showers, yep, likely. Chance of thunderstorms possible in the afternoon.
Today, showers and thunderstorms with some storms producing heavy rainfall. High near 77. Tonight, a chance of showers. Mostly cloudy with a low around 54. Friday, partly sunny with a high near 73. And Saturday, a chance of showers. Partly sunny with a high near 77.
Most of the rain that was falling here the last hour, about an hour ago, has stopped again. So we're in between whatever. But during the period of time from last hour to now, we picked up another 2/100ths of an inch of rain. It's now 0.06 inches of rain here at the studios. It's 69 degrees and 99% humidity. And, that barometric pressure is dropping just a little bit as the system is coming in our direction. I mentioned the tornadoes before we got the call there. down in Mississippi. They had a bunch.
I watched it last night.
It was. I don't know. They got several people hurt. At least 4,000 buildings
Right.
have been damaged. Trees toppled, and some of the video that I saw was something else. In two counties, 815 buildings, Lincoln and Franklin counties, fallen debris scattered everywhere, power lines down, across some of the roads. They're talking about having to go to work today. That's going to be a bit of an issue.
It was bad last night in Mississippi.
You know, the funny thing, I do things. That information I was reading, it comes to us from I forgot, New York Times, I believe. Yep, the New York Times. That story, and the person who wrote that story, a really nice-looking young lady here. Here's her picture, her mugshot. Jin Yu Young. Want to know a little bit about her? I'm a reporter and researcher for the New York Times based in Seoul, covering South Korea and international breaking news. I also assist editors and other reporters with research, translations, and interviews. Now, I'm supposed to take this person who's a reporter and living in South Korea, working for the New York Times, to talk about a story in Mississippi with... You are laughing at me, aren't you? It's disgusting. The way the news has become.
No, it is.
What in the name, Sam Hill? Before joining the Times in 2021, after graduating from the Medill Graduate School of Journalism, a great school, by the way, it's Northwestern University. They have a separate school, a graduate school, Medill School of Journalism, and I'm very familiar with them. It's a great courses they've got. I don't know how you can talk about what's going on in Mississippi when you're living in Seoul, South Korea.
She watches the Weather Channel. Yes.
When the lights are on.
Yeah.
I did watch some of the Storm Chasers live last night with the tornadoes, but I don't even know who this woman is.
Well, she's a reporter for the New York Times.
Oh, well, the New York Times is not always correct. I'm going to tell you that right now.
But she's living in South Korea.
Well, she was watching the same Storm Chasers I was watching.
You could have written the story.
Yes.
We'll change it to
credits.
Right.
We're going to call you General Lee.
No. I'm not.
General Lee is better than Captain Steve.
Going back to 1038, HP 1038. I did want to read what one of our listeners, one of our viewers said, because this is from the other side.
About the wards?
Yes, and I would like to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
And this is written by Al Burgess. I'll just say his name because he's got it on here. And he says, one thing I want to clarify from our radio discussion this morning. The issue is not about whether one individual or group can win without districts, and that's what you brought up, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
The broader issue is whether neighborhoods and communities are proportionally represented in government. District-based systems exist to ensure that different geographic areas and communities maintain a direct voice in the governing body. That principle is not unique to Jacksonville. It is reflected throughout our whole system of government. For an example, the U.S. House of Representatives is based on districts.
By Constitution.
Imagine if all 435 members of Congress were elected nationwide at large instead of from individual districts and states. Large population centers would dominate representation, and many communities across America would struggle to have a direct voice in government. The same principle applies locally. This discussion should not be reduced to race or a single candidate winning office. It is about preserving proportional geographic representation and ensuring that all parts of the city maintain meaningful representation in local government. If there are concerns about district boundaries, those concerns should be addressed through redistricting. Eliminating district representation entirely is a different policy decision. Okay.
Okay, that's
I'll let you go first.
That's our friend, Mr. Burgess.
Yes.
Okay, fine. And we agree on one topic. If there are going to be wards, as there are congressional districts,
Mm-hmm.
every congressional district has the same number of people in them, approximately. And that's the reason they have to change from time to time, because we got people moving in from other areas, we got people leaving. congressional districts in Michigan, for instance, they're changing because people are leaving town. I suspect there are going to be some congressional districts changing in California too because people are leaving town, they're leaving the state. But I will agree that if you're going to do it, it should be by population, but not by the population of people that do not vote. When you've got a certain, for instance, let me just do it this way. They had at one point in time, the 3rd Congressional District, which I just disapproved of completely, had singled out a very small portion of New Hanover County. What was in that district? The University of North Carolina at Wilmington, with all the students who were living on campus. Most were living on campus. They didn't vote. They didn't care. Why do you want to include a small group of people like that in your district? There was no reason. It actually diluted the 3rd Congressional District's ability to do anything because they had people from there. They counted them. And therefore, this district, the other part of the district of 3rd District was smaller because they had to include those people there. That's the way it works for population. Now, when they do it by population, as in the people who are living in this place that they should never have brought into the city in the first place, and the reason, go back and look at why they brought it into the city. Why? To make the city look bigger, so they could get more money from the federal government as a larger city. We are not a larger city. We are not larger. If you remove the population of Camp Lejeune, all of those people there, and the land area, we are not a larger city. We're still the same size city as we are today. If they want to set up the wards accordingly, carve it out, split up, I don't know, 5 streets at Camp Lejeune, 5 streets, set them up at every ward in the city. They don't have to be, obviously. They can be annexed they could be districted as a satellite district. You could have a carved out spot over here, and Camp Lejeune could be divided up among all of the 4 wards in the city. Every ward should get an equal number of people from Camp Lejeune and New River and
I need to go back. I need to go read the rules on redistricting exactly how they are done.
Now, don't read the congressional district rules. There's a difference.
I know that, Rick.
Okay.
I know that. I'm talking about what the city has got set up, what the law says they have to do. I did a lot of redistricting when I worked at the post office for routes. And we tried to keep them all in the same area.
Well, that's
and not
for transportation reasons.
Let me finish. And we tried to keep them from crossing over each other. I'm looking at the map and I'm thinking, why don't we take this, put here, try to evenly distribute it? But my understanding is what I'm being told is that you can't do that. You have to follow a line. But I don't know. I'm going to read it. But I think all of this makes Jacksonville unique because we have the base.
Yep.
If we didn't have the base, there wouldn't be all these issues. But we have the base. When the census counts the people, we have to honor that. Now, how many of the people did the census count that are registered in the city of Jacksonville? Don't know. I would love to see those figures. But I looked it up and it says cities in North Carolina using the ward or district system. Right now, the search would only show 3 cities because they said that they didn't have enough information to put other cities on here. But they show High Point, which is divided into 6 wards, each electing 1 council member. Wards are redrawn every 10 years according to the census. Durham has 3 ward-based county council members and 3 at large, plus a mayor. Ward members must live in the ward but are elected citywide. And Jacksonville.
Whoa. They have to live in the ward, but they're elected citywide. That is not the kind of ward system we have.
No, but Jacksonville uses a ward system for voting districts with wards redrawn after each census to maintain equal representation. Other municipalities in North Carolina may use similar ward or district systems, but the provided sources do not list them all. So this search was not able to give me anything.
And company, I agree. If this is the way you want to do it, require 4 wards is what we have, require a representative to live in that ward, but has to be elected by the entire population, voting population of Jacksonville. Everybody. It's basically at large election, but they're required to live in a certain spot.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little math here.
Al, if you're listening.
I'm going to do a little math here. Jacksonville is rated the number 14th largest city in the state of North Carolina.
That's correct.
With
Camp
71,000 people. The number of homes in the city of Jacksonville proper, is 22,600.
That's a lot of people living in each home on average.
I'm not going to say they don't live in apartments. There's a few, I'm sure there's some that do.
Mm-hmm.
Some in low income housing,
Mm-hmm.
some in assisted living facilities. But where are those 50,000?
A chunk of them are aboard Camp Lejeune, and they don't vote in Onslow County.
That's
I'm going to go back to say this whole issue is because of the fact that we have that base in the city limits.
Well, the whole reason
And we
for the
have to
discussion is that.
count, we have to count them.
But
as voters.
let's change if there's any. Durham, that was Durham, right? Durham has got 3 wards. Let's set up. We got 4 wards. Don't have to redo the district lines, but every council person will have to have one in each ward.
Right.
Somebody in each ward.
Right.
But they're elected by everybody. Every person in Jacksonville
Well, you know
elects
what?
them.
To me, that's a compromise.
That is a perfect compromise. It's already there. Hey, we're not doing anything new. It's already on the books in Durham.
That was interesting, when I
That
read
is a
that, and
great
I
piece
was
of
like,
information.
wait a minute, I mean,
That should satisfy everybody. You got somebody living there who once selected, can represent the people in this district, right?
exactly.
My question is this, and pick any council person you want. I don't care. Pick one out of the hat. Do it by alphabetical order. It doesn't matter.
Let's pick my Miss Mickey.
Okay, Miss Mickey, Miss Mickey, beautiful lady. She was on our show before the elections. Miss Mickey, does she not represent all 71,000 people of Jacksonville?
Supposed to.
I'm not. I'll be honest
but
with
again, what does she or anybody else do for Camp Lejeune?
May belong to military affairs. I don't
We can't even go on base anymore. I don't want to talk about the base. I can't even go to the beach anymore.
No, not unless you have a military ID card. You don't.
No, you got to have
Not right now.
ID.
But I'm just so
Or a
Mick
boat.
and Nikki, I believe, said on this show that she will be representing all the citizens
Yes,
of
she said
Jacksonville.
that.
That's right. That's what
Okay,
she said.
so does it matter what ward it's in?
Then let them get elected from all of the citizens of Jacksonville.
That's my point.
I like that, Rayford. I think it's a
That's
nice
the perfect-
compromise
that's
for
the
everybody.
Perfect solution.
Yeah, you have to live in the ward that you're running in.
Now, if
but
you're going
everybody
to
votes.
argue against it, then I know why you're going to argue against it, because it's exactly what we think is happening right now.
And that would be
Y'all figure it out.
I figured you were going to say something.
You don't have to say anything. It's apparent the elephant's in the room.
Well, I think that it's just going to be interesting to see how this works out. But I like what Durham's doing.
Okay.
I do. I like that.
I don't like a whole lot of what Durham does, but
No.
if they're going to have wards, let's do it that way.
One of the other comments that came out of that meeting was they didn't ask us our opinion. They being the House.
The city, the House,
the-
and take it up with your House
The House
reps.
legislature, and I think
Right.
I think the city attorney addressed that pretty well.
Yes, she did, and she's not an election law attorney. She doesn't deal on all that.
No.
But she said that, there are attorneys that deal with that would be better versed in that. But the city is having a public hearing on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was May 19th, was it?
But at the end of the day, if in Raleigh, it's passed as a law, what the city council thinks, what the citizens think, don't matter because that's it.
Well, it's your state legislators
Right.
that set that law.
Right.
It's not like the city can say, we would like to revisit it. We would like to do this after a meeting with the public. This is what we'd like. They have the right to do that. But all in all, it comes down to the state representation. And the thing about it is, I think you can ask any city councilman or ask the mayor, did y'all know this was coming down the pike? Because I think you're going to find out, no,
Yeah.
they didn't know.
No, they didn't know.
Well,
They were like, what?
and then we've got this whole situation that somebody from BFE land out there in the western part of North Carolina is chairing this whole committee and is going to.
Yeah, well, yeah,
This is
she's
not
a
to affect the entire state. This is to impact Jacksonville, the city of Jacksonville only.
But the way it's in the North Carolina House is somebody presents the bill, it goes into a committee, they review it.
Yeah.
You have committee chairman, because if you didn't have committee chairman to keep a watch over things, you may have a couple legislators go in there and change something on a local bill that shouldn't have been done or what. I mean, everybody has a chance to speak about it.
Well, is she
Yeah.
saying that? Well, you followed it. Is she saying that this bill is not fair?
No, she's saying that it needs to be rewritten. It needs to be more defined. I'm gonna bring it up real quick
Yeah,
and tell
let's
you
find
what it
out.
says.
So while you do that, let me add a little more to this story. So a couple of weeks ago, we had the public hearing on the voluntary annexation of part of Blue Creek Road.
Mm-hmm.
So the homes that are already there, they're not affected by it. But that property that's going to be building 200 plus homes and stuff, what ward is that going to fall into?
Yeah,
now you got
number
that question.
7, and we
Number
only
7.
got 4.
I mean, where is that going to fall?
It's going to be split up, and a little bit of it's going to be divided everywhere.
I would think it would go into precinct 1, which is probably part of Ward 1.
Well, you're going to have to
So,
look
I don't
at what
know.
the population is and make sure you divide it up so that it's
You
not
may
going
have
to
to
be,
move some around.
and move
Okay.
some others around.
All right, I've got the bill drawn up right here, and everything that's currently on it is all X'd out, and that was because they took the original
So you got nothing.
statute. No, and redid it. Okay, it's an act to require that all members of the Jacksonville City Council be elected at large. The General Assembly of North Carolina enacts Section 1, Section 2 through 8 of the Charter of the City of Jacksonville, being Chapter 911 of the 1967 Session Laws, as amended by City Ordinance 8921, adopted on April 26, 1989, and City Ordinance number 0659, adopted on November
of a
21st, 2006, reads as rewritten. All right, this is what was rewrote. Section 2.8, election of mayor and council generally. At a regular election to be held by the Onslow County Board of Elections on the Tuesday after the first Monday in November, there shall be elected a mayor and 6 council members, all of whom shall reside within the city and who shall run and be elected
At large.
at large. I had to skip all these paragraphs. By the qualified voters in the entire city of Jacksonville. The mayor shall be elected to serve a 4-year term until a successor is elected and qualified. Council members shall be elected to serve a 4-year staggered term until their successors are elected and qualified. So what they did was they went in and they X'd out all the things about wards. So they're saying this
So
is
there's no
what we want
wards.
to.
That's what was proposed, and then she wants it to be rewritten.
She said that, from my
That
understanding,
makes too
she
much common
said
sense. It's easy to
that-
understand.
Yeah.
she felt like that they need to delve into this more. I will tell you that there was a lot of phone calls made to representatives in Raleigh
I'm sure.
from people here in Onslow County
Mhm.
that were not in favor of it going to at-large seats.
Yeah.
So a lot of the representatives listened to their concerns. So this one, Sarah Stevens, who's also running for a state judge, felt like that there needed to be more discussion on it, and the 1038, the bill 1038 need to be a little bit more defined. I don't know what she means. Like, what else should be put in there?
So, guys, if you were in favor of this as drawn, since there was obviously a voter, a phone bank of people set up to make the phone calls, then you need to make phone calls as well. If you're in favor of electing the city council at large, then you need to be making phone calls to our elected representatives and to Sarah Stevens.
Right. Now, is Section 2, and the other sections is beginning in 2027 with the regular municipal elections for the city of Jacksonville, and biannually thereafter, all council members shall be elected at large by the qualified voters of the city. No council members for the city of Jacksonville shall be elected by ward, but the same staggering of terms shall remain in place. And then Section 3 was, this act is effective when it becomes law and applies to the elections held on or after that date. I think it's pretty plain. I mean,
It's just like the Second Amendment. It's easy to understand.
I don't know what more she wants. Maybe one of our representatives will call in and let us know.
We have to call them and ask them.
And let me just preface this, my comments. I don't have a dog in this fight because I don't live in the city, but I have my opinion, and I use logic and facts. And and logically, if you think that you're the best candidate to serve a city of Jacksonville person, whether it's Lee in the Woodlands, Rayford here where Rayford lives,
In the sticks.
then you run. And if they think you're the best person that's going to represent them, then you elect them.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Okay, here
You're
I have
representing
an
the whole
update.
city. You're not representing this area.
We have
this
a
area.
much bigger area here in Onslow County where we have 7 people elected.
Yeah.
And they are all elected at large. They're not required to live in any particular areas. They hear voices from all of the people in different areas. Steeds Ferry, Holly Ridge, Swansboro, Richlands, the city of Jacksonville people. Because they represent the entire county. They are not elected. They're not running in wards, nor should they ever be.
No.
No,
I have an update. HB 1038 would have changed Jacksonville City Council elections to an at-large system starting in 2027, was pulled from committee after facing strong opposition from community leaders and civil rights advocates.
Okay. So so let's call it what it is.
We know what happened. They
Right.
jumped it. They jumped it en masse as a group of individuals.
Yes,
and
they
I
did.
guarantee you that is a very small group of people.
Right.
But they are noisy when they get to be like that. So,
Well, they did.
so you fight fire
their
with
thing.
fire. For the
Mhm.
rest of the folks out there, if you want to see it like has been proposed, ring them chimes.
See, the supporters of changing it argue that the ward system created unequal voter engagement, with some wards having as few as 200 voters and others having over 1,200, and that the at-large elections would give all residents an equal voice. However, the opponents, and here's Kenyatta Uring, he's the NAACP branch president, he warned that removing the ward system would undo progress made in the past when minorities face extreme difficulty being elected to the council, potentially leaving Black, Indigenous, and other minority voices unrepresented
Like the
again.
mayor of Richlands.
Well,
Running on merit and ability is what keeps him being reelected.
that's right.
If you ain't got it, you know what? They'll throw him out. That's the way Richlands and every other place is. If you're not doing the job, then they will kick you out.
What is Jacksonville considered? What kind of community?
One city, our city, my city, your city.
But besides that, what do we have that others don't?
Oh, we
We have the
Camp Lejeune.
There
military.
you go.
That's Steve calling.
Okay, so we are a military community.
I want to hear what Steve's got, his opinions on it. He doesn't live in Jacksonville, but I would like to hear, because
He wants to be annexed, and he's proposing that his particular piece of property be satellite annexed so he can get water and sewer delivered there. Right, Steve?
Okay. I'll take your word for
That
that.
was too easy.
Good morning,
Darn,
guys.
Steve.
How you like the rain?
good morning.
It's a love-hate situation. I love that it's raining because it's good for everything, but it just puts me on pause. I'm running around just going from store to store or walking around inside.
Okay.
Boredom. That's boredom.
You can come here.
Get my indoor exercise, I reckon.
I got some dirt that needs to be moved. I've got to move it real quick, like from 2 raised beds, because we built a greenhouse yesterday.
I got you. I don't go out in the rain, man. I might melt.
What?
If you haven't been told, you are not made of sugar.
Ooh.
Well, I didn't say I was.
But then you won't melt.
But sugar ain't the only thing that melts.
Yeah, no. Anyway, what's up?
Nothing. Just messing around today. Thought I'd call and say, hey, so y'all have a blessed day.
You have a blessed day as well.
Check out for today.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
But have a blessed day as well. Enjoy the rain. I'm going to use
I
it to
will.
drive
I will.
a
Y'all do too.
yeah.
Yeah. The sun's always shining when you can see across the street, right?
Of course it
Don't
does.
matter if it's raining.
Yeah.
Yes, the sun is always shining above the clouds.
If the sun won't shine, I'd have to turn my headlights on.
Well, I'll be
If it's raining, you do. That's for sure.
I'll be turning mine on to head to your favorite place, Rayford.
You don't have to,
Hampstead.
but, you know.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
That's me too.
Anyway, I'll just pick them to go. Y'all have a great day.
Thank
You
you,
too.
Steve.
Steve.
Appreciate it.
I'll see you later on.
Bye.
Bye.
Real quick, when we're going to talk about things being overturned, I don't know if you heard, but the South Carolina Supreme Court has overturned a lower court's denial for a new trial for Alex Murdaugh. He looks like he's going to get a new trial. The disgraced,
God, more
lying, cheating piece of doo-doo that killed his wife and son.
6 more months of trial that you get to watch.
6 more months. It should go a lot faster this time. But, you know, a lot of it is because of the alleged jury tampering by the clerk of court, Miss Becky, who wrote a book and made money off of it. But there was enough evidence to show that she was trying to persuade the jurors to vote him guilty and a few other things. But that scumbag, that thug, that murderer is getting a new trial.
Tell us how you really
So he's
feel.
not.
Tell us how you really feel.
He's not any of the above now, though, right? Because he's getting a new trial.
Well, he's still in prison for most of his life for all the financial thefts that he created from people that he was representing, like a young man whose father was killed by a drunk driver, and the family about lost everything. And Alex took the money and lied to, well, he ain't got the money yet. You know, yeah, he swindled a lot of people out of their money, and so he's in there for.
Okay, we're going to leave on a good note.
Yeah, we are.
You ready? Down in Texas. Down in Texas, only in Texas, got an illegal from Mexico, jumped the border, and he carjacked or attempted to carjack a family of 8 people,
Oh, my.
including a baby.
Yeah.
Daddy
Tell me Daddy was armed.
be armed.
Keep going.
Whoops.
Oh, no.
Illegal, not going to be tried.
Illegal not breathing?
Well, horizontally, perhaps. 30-year-old Jose Ramirez,
Jose.
the driver of the car, was at fault. Parked at a nearby gas station and was unsuccessfully attempting to take several vehicles by force in the parking lot. Well, Daddy confronted him. His family was in the car.
Mm-hmm.
He said, bangity bang. Bangity bang, bang, bang.
So he had a pew.
All on video.
Right. Oh, my gosh.
All on video.
Yep.
Father opened fire from the passenger side while the guy was sitting in the driver's seat.
Oh.
He was taken to a hospital where he was DOA. Nobody else was hurt. I
Wow.
told you it was a good story.
Wow.
Father stayed in the vehicle and was cooperative with investigators, and no charges were filed.
Wow.
And he had, I think there was, the number I heard was 5 cars he had tried
Yeah.
previously.
Yep.
And then
But he tried the wrong one.
he sure did.
Well,
He only tried one more. He tried one
One too many.
final time.
that
See
was
ya, what more
no
do ya?
lesson learned for Jose, was it?
told you, Jose got justice. You're live and local. Real talk. We will see you tomorrow. And I don't know where Joe is. You need to call my
I
boy
just
Joe.
texted him and he said that it just slipped off his radar. So
Well, he better get a rubber radar.
he
Do
needs
I have
get
to?
it.
Do I have to babysit him?
He finally answered me. He said, "Oops, it slipped off my radar." I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
Okay.
We have a much lovelier
Yes,
former co-host here going to join
Yes.
us tomorrow. Much
Right.
lovelier than Joe.
that's right.
Joe, you're being upstaged.
Kelly's coming in with us tomorrow.
Kelly's going to be joining us in here. Boy, have I got questions for her? She
Oh,
don't
I bet
want
you
them.
do. Well, I'm just going to sit back.
She
and
doesn't
just like,
want
I'm-
any of my
I'm-
questions.
Hey, Chris, bring a good deck of cards. You and I
Okay.
just going to play room or whatever. Alana, those two catching it. Well, she's going to tell us about a new deadly drug that's out in the street that's even more potent, more dangerous than fentanyl.
Then we need to collect a lot of it and send it to Central Prison. They have 121 people on death row that need it. If you can't, if they can't get it to them at a prescribed time, you've got them waiting. Just feed it to them. They won't even know it. It'll be over with sooner than later. You're live in local real talk. We'll
Have a
see you in the
blessed
morning.
day.
Bye, y'all.
Hello.
Enjoy the rain. I
Enjoy
am.
it.